I think something strange happens as we get older. Not bad strange, just quiet strange. We spend so much energy trying to get somewhere, to become something, to reach the version of our life that finally feels right. And somewhere in the middle of all that reaching, we stop noticing what's already here. Not dramatically, not all at once, just gradually. A slow shift of attention, away from the present, toward the not yet. I was thinking about this recently, about how much of our lives we spend waiting to feel ready, waiting to feel okay, waiting to get to the place where things finally make sense. And in the waiting, we put certain things on hold, certain people, certain moments, certain parts of ourselves. When things settle down, I'll pay more attention to that. When I'm less tired, I'll be more present. When I feel better about everything, then I'll... And life, somehow, doesn't wait for the settling. I had a conversation with someone once. They were talking about a difficult few years they'd been through. And at the end of it, they said something I didn't expect. The strangest part wasn't how hard it was. It was what I noticed when I came out the other side. Things I'd walked past every day suddenly mattered again. People I'd taken for granted, I saw them differently. Quiet moments I'd been rushing through, I wished I'd stayed in them longer. And then they said, it wasn't that those things changed. It was that I finally slowed down enough to see them. I want to ask you something. What actually matters to you? Not what you think should matter. Not the things you've been told to care about. Not the achievements, the milestones, the things that look good from the outside. What actually matters to you when everything else gets quiet? Because I think most of us have a list. A mental list of things we're working toward. Things that, once we have them, we'll finally feel like we've arrived. And underneath that list, quieter, less spoken, there's another list. The things that already make you feel alive. That already make you feel like yourself. That already, on some level, make the hard parts bearable. And I wonder, how often do you pay attention to that second list? How often do you notice the things that are already holding you? There's a conversation you have with someone, not an important one, just an ordinary one. And afterward you feel lighter. There's a moment in a day, usually unremarkable from the outside, where something in you relaxes. A song, a particular light in the late afternoon, the feeling of finishing something small, a few minutes of quiet that ask nothing of you. These things don't make the highlight reel. They don't show up in the plans. But they're there, and they matter more than we usually give them credit for. Here's what I've noticed. The things that matter most, they rarely announce themselves. They're not loud. They don't compete for your attention. They just wait. Quietly, consistently, right where you left them. The person who checks in on you, not because anything is wrong, just because they were thinking of you. The part of your work that you actually care about, not the part that gets noticed, but the part that feels real. The version of yourself you are in the moments between the performance. Quiet, unguarded, just here. How long has it been since you noticed those things? I think we often measure our lives by what we don't yet have. The relationship that isn't right yet. The career that isn't where you wanted it to be. the version of yourself that isn't quite formed yet. And there's nothing wrong with wanting more. There's nothing wrong with working toward things. But I wonder, in the gap between where you are and where you want to be, what are you passing through? Actually here, in this in-between place. Not as a consolation prize, not as a reason to stop wanting more, but as something real, something worth noticing, something that, if you lost it, you'd miss. Let that sit for a moment. Because here's the quiet truth. What matters more than you thought is usually already present. Not waiting for you to achieve something first. Not conditional on you finally having it together. It's just there. In the ordinary. In the unremarkable. In the things that don't make it into the story you tell about your life, but that are, quietly, the actual substance of it. What if you didn't have to wait to arrive somewhere? What if some of what you've been looking for, the feeling of being held, of mattering, of being enough, wasn't waiting at the destination? What if it was already threaded through the ordinary moments you've been walking through on your way to somewhere else? I'm not saying everything is fine. I'm not saying what you want isn't real or worth reaching for. I'm just asking, while you're on your way there, what are you walking past? What's already here, waiting to be noticed? I don't know what your life looks like right now. I don't know what's hard. I don't know what's been taking most of your attention. But I think, if you stopped for a moment, you'd find something. Something quiet. Something ordinary. Something that doesn't ask for much and gives back more than you expect. What matters more than you thought was never somewhere else. It was here. It's been here. In the person who showed up when you didn't ask them to. In the moment you almost missed because you were somewhere else in your head. In the small thing you did that mattered, even if no one said so. In the fact that you're still here, still looking, still asking questions like this one. Maybe that's worth something. Maybe it's worth more than you've been giving it. And maybe the person you're becoming now isn't someone you have to build from scratch. Maybe they've been here the whole time, waiting for you to stop leaving.